Good Tuesday morning. Yeah, Larry just left. Pretty sure we got this how we want it now. But with the new software update that they did back in July or whatever, it changed a few things. I don't know. It was funny because he said New Holland told him what to try and do. Something to do with switching to tasks in the computer and to let them know what we did to make it work. So it sounds like they're not even sure. I don't know. It's working. The head is calibrated. I just hand shelled some corn. That wasn't pretty. It was still 27%. That's hand shelled. So through the machine, you can add a couple more. So, and it rained enough a little while ago, sprinkled enough to make the road wet, which it's not wet now. It's a little breezy, but there's just no sun. So I don't know if we'll be able to get to doing beans today. Tomorrow morning they show the same thing, chance of just a slight passing shower. And for those of you that are non-farmers, it don't take much to make beans too tough to be able to go. So I don't have a problem with drying 16% beans if that's what they'll come off the field at, but you got to be able to shell them. They got to be able to get out of their pods. And if they're moist, that doesn't work very good. So I don't know. It's like we're at a standstill. The corn is still too wet. Mother Nature is making the beans wet enough so that it's hard to go, because they were dry beans, but like I said, the pods have got to be dry enough to be able to shell the beans out of them. So I don't know what we're doing. It's just, I hate sitting around. I just can't stand it. Well, I don't know if you can tell very well looking at the truck. I'm sure you can, but yeah, green blob just popped up. So that's pulled back in. The corn head is back there behind it, pulled in. And it looks like a nothing day again. Oh, watch out for that. Although the John Deere dealership is supposed to be coming I had them here. I guess Colin has had some bad issues with some equipment, so I'm assuming that's why he never got here. So I had the John Deere dealership come. Oh, I just ate lunch, excuse me. We recalibrated that yesterday. It worked fine, or it seemed fine. I took it over, put fuel in it, over 100 gallons, that I hope I get to use with the price of fuel the way it is. Or I could have put it in that if we end up keep using that. So I had it off over there while I was pumping the fuel. Started it back up. Here came the code again. Calibrate ILS suspension, whatever. So I called the tech. He put in a DTAC case, is what they call it, with John Deere. He heard back from John Deere as to what to try to do. So he was coming out this morning, but when I texted him, he said he was trying to get a stranded tractor off of a road. So apparently a tractor is broke down on a road somewhere. That's not good. I've been there. Yeah, that really sucks. So people don't like you very much if you're blocking the road because your tractor don't move. But anyways, about 12:15. I'm assuming he's going to still come. If not, hopefully he comes in the morning. It's not like we're going anywhere, but hopefully whatever John Deere told him works, so we can put that tractor on the cart, especially now that I filled it up with fuel and DEF. And I mean, I filled it up. So that sucks. All right, good Wednesday. It's about noon. Yeah, the sun is actually trying to shine. As you can see, it's kind of breezy. And I don't know if you can tell, kind of hard to see that tractor's the 8295 with the front duals, but it is, because he was here yesterday afternoon. There's the 8235. I just parked it there for now. It's out of the way. I don't care. I got home from a soil and water our soil and water district. I'm on the board. Got home from a meeting from that. So after he left yesterday, we had started. Oh, you know what? You're kind of shitty looking because my hands are just dirty. Thought I washed them good, but there, maybe you're better now. We started that son of a bitch probably 15 times, at least. Drove it around, and it was working. My meeting was at 9, so at like 8:15 this morning, I stopped over here, opened the shop up, started it. It was good. I just got home, started it. It was good. So it is now back on the cart. The son of a bitch has been started enough times that it should be good. But what he did, okay, to explain, John Deere had him put new software in the tractor. That's the way he explained it to me. Not update software, but new software. He said if that didn't work, then we'd have to change some controller, which that sounds expensive, changing a controller. So all right, how did you explain it to me, Tyler? You cleared the controller or something so that when you put the new software in, the controller was blank, I guess. I don't know, I could be wrong. Any mechanics that know all this computerized bullshit. So apparently the new software took, and hopefully we don't have any more problems with that. He says if we do, then it's probably going to be a controller, which, like I said, that sounds expensive. So we're not going to do any beans today because it's just, no, too wet. I'm going to go over to Scotty's, that 80 acres, and just check it. Hoping if we could get over there tomorrow, between tomorrow and Friday, we could knock that off and then sit again because they say rain this weekend. But the only problem is this afternoon, if you look at the future radar, if you guys have that on your phones, like with your local weather stations, I mean, you can see the black puffy clouds. They do show some green blobs coming through. There's some bullshit low system, like sitting above Buffalo on the edge of Canada or something, just spinning around, that we got to get rid of. Basically, like I said, today's Wednesday. We last turned a wheel last Thursday. So the corn's too wet to do anything with, because I'm not going to dry corn that. I mean, it's the 11th of October. We're not that desperate yet to start drying 28 to 30% corn, because we've been there, done that before when we've had to do it later in a season on a year where shit didn't dry down. So I don't know. I guess I just turn this off and wait till we go back to work. So, but I do want to explain one thing to a person who left a comment on the last video, and no, I haven't commented back to you because I just haven't had time yet. So I'm actually commenting back to you now if you end up watching this video. You said you were still waiting to see the end process of what happens to our crops. Well, you're not going to see that on this channel, and I don't mean that in any kind of negative way. What I'm getting at is, like last year, a lot of my beans end up in Canada at Bunge, B-U-N-G-E. You can look that up. There's also a Bunge out in the Midwest, processing, basically. They get squished, in plain English, crushed for the oil, soybean oil that's in them, for cooking oil and whatnot. And then what's left gets ground up for animal feed, cows, chickens, pigs, whatever. And I'm not driving to Canada to show you that. I'm not driving to the Midwest. And everything I sell what they call FOB, which basically means when I contract, let's say 5,000 bushels of corn or beans, I contract it picked up here at the farm. Matter of fact, this afternoon I'm going to start moving some of the beans I've contracted. So the trucker said I'll probably be there towards the end of the day. So he's probably going to pick up so he can deliver first thing in the morning. Because all we got is the small trucks that we use from the field to the farm. We don't deliver our own products to anywhere, because half time I don't even know where it's going. I will say a large majority of my corn last year went to a feed mill east of here, which is probably 2.5 hours away. Same principle. It's to a feed mill. Gets ground up for animal feed, cow, pig, whatever, chicken. So that's, I can't show you the actual where it's going, because when I sell it through the broker I sell through, any of them, what they do with it after that to be honest, I don't give a shit. I'm selling it to them, but I do know where 99.9% of it goes. So, like I said, the beans, either a lot of them went to Canada in previous years. A lot of them are going to the storage facility to get put on rail cars to go to a process facility. Some of my corn over the years has gone to ethanol plants. The ethanol plant 15, 16 miles from me, north of me here, has been closed down for the past 3 years at least, 3-4 years. So there is an ethanol plant probably 30 to 40 miles west of me. I have had some corn go there. Same principle that ethanol, they, you know, squeeze the corn for the ethanol, and then the byproduct is basically feed for animals. So, or, you know, what's left. So it all gets used, let's put it that way. So I can't remember your name, but if you are a watcher and you continue to watch, there's your explanation. That's probably as good as you're going to get from me, at least. So, all right, I'm in the computer shack. I'm testing some corn that I shelled with this handy dandy corn shucker here that was sent to me by a person who, East Central Illinois, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, 20.2 hand shelled. I thought this stuff was drier. All right, I'm gonna turn you off, but I'll turn you back on in just a few minutes. All right, I don't know how well you can read that. That sample right there. My average for the 3 was 19.7. 55 pound test weight, basically 54.9. So be a little heavier than that when it gets down to 15. This is off now, but the 2 I took here, one was 20% and the other was 19.7. I don't remember. So basically they're pretty close. So you're saying to yourself, well, I gotta remember to switch this back to beans for now. Hang on, I'm setting it down. You're looking at the ceiling. How do you like that? Alright, I gotta switch it to beans. Beans go this way. There's so much shit in here that you can do. Soybeans right there. Alright, it's on soybeans, turn it up. So you're asking yourself, well, I thought you said they were 27, 28%. 20, field behind the house, 26.8 and 27.2, I think, were the 2. And like I said, you can add a couple points through the combine. So this stuff is probably 21, 22 at the most through the combine when it starts getting this dry. Well, I got thinking about it. I went over to Scotty's and I checked the beans, and the pods are too moist that you can't. You farmers know what I'm talking about. If you take the pod and between your finger and your thumb where the seam is, and you press on it, when they're dry, they'll pop right open. The beans will fall out. If they get to, and the beans weren't as mushy as I thought they'd be. They really, I wouldn't even call them mushy, but they're not good enough to go through a machine. If it doesn't rain this afternoon, we will go over and do beans tomorrow, because, you know, we're pushing the middle of October. It's more crucial to get the beans done right now than it is the corn, because, you know, happens to snow. Not good for beans. Our old adage around here is October's the month to harvest beans, November's the month to salvage them. Not that I'm not saying we haven't had some beautiful Novembers before, because we have, but we've also had knee-deep snow in November before. But anyways, I got thinking about the corn. I'm like, you know, all this corn, I used 50 units of that Pivot Bio, which puts the extra nitrogen on. So basically I planted roughly 125, 130 acres of corn with that. I'm thinking that extra nitrogen is holding this corn a little greener and a little wetter. So I went over on Dalton Road. There's 35 acres over there. I don't have my book with me. It's in the combine. I'm not crawling up and getting it. But I knew that wasn't Pivot Bio. So, and my maturity was anywhere from a 94-day to a 98-day. So there's not a huge difference in day length of the corn. And there's only about an 8 or 9 day difference in planting from the time I started corn to the time I ended. And I went over there, and that's where I got these ears from. And obviously the corn that didn't have the extra nitrogen is drying down a hell of a lot faster than all of this stuff here on the home farm. Way up back, the big long ass fields that you saw in the spring, all that stuff. So if it does rain this afternoon enough where it looks like we ain't gonna be able to go tomorrow, we're probably gonna switch to corn and go knock that 35 acres off at least. I want to be doing something. I don't want to just be sitting while, you know, I mean, it can rain for 2 hours, and an hour after it stops raining, when the plants dry off some, you can be picking corn. As long as the leaves and everything, the husks aren't soaking wet to plug up your sieves in the combine, you can be going. Beans are a fickle bitch. So I'm hoping it don't rain later. I'm hoping that passes us. I'd rather be doing beans, but I also now know where I'm starting when it comes time to do corn. We're going to be doing all the later planted corn first, because it's going to be the drier corn. Doesn't usually work out that way, but that's how it's going to work out this year. Good gloomy Thursday morning. As you can see, the road is wet. About 11 o'clock last night before I went to bed, it rained again. So I said, fuck it. We're in the process of draining the dryer out right now. I've got a bungee cord up there to trick that thing that shuts it off with low grain. You see that in last year's video. You can probably hear the beans going in the bin. So we're going to get the last of the corn out of there when we're done. Put it in here, the wet bin, fill the dryer, and we're gonna go try some of that corn that was hand shelling 19-20%, because I'm sick of waiting for Mother Nature to get her shit together. I mean, it's supposed to be this way today. Tomorrow, Friday, is supposed to be a little nicer, but with no sun, I mean, the beans aren't gonna. And for you non-farmers, what I'll kind of explain to you about how, I mean, you feel your grass when it's wet, so the plant's wet. But if you look at like the water that's just, you know, hanging on the bottom of that frame piece right there, this auger, yeah, that's pretty much what it's kind of doing on the plant right now too. So, and the corn plant will dry up enough to go through the machine, because all you're doing, what little bit, most of the plant is going down through the head to the ground, and you're just sending the ear through with, you know, a little bit of the husk that's still on it and whatnot, and you get the occasional leaf and stuff. But yeah, I'm rambling. I'm tired of waiting for Mother Nature to cooperate. So we're gonna do some corn. Gonna go show you Barb's mess. Our mess. Our mess. It's our mess. I forgot to open it. Well, because you didn't look to see if it was open, so that makes it our mess. Trying to remember everything to switch over. It's not a 5-minute job, folks, to switch from one crop to another. Well, we forgot after sitting all these days that we had the top of the wet bin closed and the auger up. Yeah. Started turning it on to dump this dry corn in. Quite a little pile underneath there, the 2 propane tanks. I started trying to sweep some up and shovel some up, but when you run rocks, little rocks through this auger, yeah, you can hear it. So I always told you I'd show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes. She heard it hitting the roof, and she immediately ran and shut the tractor off.
Right, my fast reflexes.
Shut the truck down. So I don't know. This video's getting long, and there's not much on it. Maybe I'll give you a couple minutes of actual combining corn when we get to that, because right now I'm waiting for the dryer to fill. Now I gotta switch everything over on that and pull the head out and get that hooked up and put in settings that I think will be close to start. All right, we are corning. I don't know how well you can read this, but Right now the field's yielding, averaging 162, because this side over here isn't that great, although now it's up into the 160s and 170s. At first pass along the woods, the monitor was reading about 104, 105. It's running anywhere between 19 and 23%. Obviously around the woods it's a little wetter. There's 23, 24. The other side over there was between 19 and 20. It's just, you know, as I've explained before, when you're surrounded by that shit right there, your beans are always wetter on the outside, your corn is always wetter on the outside. So, but I'm pretty impressed with this second pass. Right now there's 182, 184, and it should get better as I go in, because over on the other side where there's just a ditch, there's no woods, it was in the 200s. So I don't know, when we get out into it a little farther I'll turn it back on and show you. But you can also still see the green in some of it here that's always near the woods. Alright, now I don't know with the sun how good you can see it, but it's running in the low to 200s, 211. Out here in the middle of the field, it's between 19 and 21%. There's 205, 201, down in the 190s now. I don't know. It seems to be pretty decent corn. We got it calibrated. There's no such thing as getting it exact between what my scale reads and her scale reads, but we were within, the last one was less than 200 pounds, so we quit calibrating because holy shit, I think it was 180 something. It just, you ain't never gonna get two numbers identical, but it's good enough. Alright, here's your one more thing. It's about 8 o'clock. I'm standing in the computer shack, as you can see, over drying some corn right now. But the drying index is telling it speed up, which makes the rate speed up. It was down in the 20s. It'll get up into the 40s. It's been down around 12% coming out the back. Between 22 and 22 and a half is what it's saying the wet moisture is. I'm good with that. Like I said, around the outsides it was a little wetter, the inside's a little drier. We did finish that 16 acres. Now I don't know what the actual yield was, but we took 8 full trucks, 6-wheelers, plus there's close to a half a truck left in the cart, so that 16 acres did well. That's all we got done, because it's a, you know, day one all over again. Day one for corn. Going through this bullshit of getting the combine set, and then getting your computer set, you know, and doing your, you farmers know, the 2-minute samples. No, I will never film those because you're running out there back and forth. And yeah, I got 6.4 miles in today according to my Apple Watch. So we don't just sit on our ass in a seat in a tractor or combine all day long. Yeah, I got over 12,000 steps. So I don't know, that's it, I guess. Oh, other than, yeah, the service managers dealt with my wrath a little bit today, because I'm not gonna get into it a lot because we'll see what happens, but the computer's been doing some strange things in the combine again. Yep, after a software update. Holy fuck. So that's it for this video. I think now I'm 2 videos ahead, so today's October 12th. You won't see this till probably the 18th, 19th, somewhere's in there. I don't know, but maybe before that. I don't know, but the videos are always a little ahead of when you actually see them. Let's put it that way. So that means tomorrow I'm not carrying this camera with me. Oh yeah, second more thing. Shameless plug. Get your Grumpy Farmer apparel. And don't forget I'm on Rumble too, so if something ever happens with, you know, screw tube here. But alright, now I'm done.